Hello! Welcome to another Southern New Hampshire University's Learning Center tutorial on how to use Minitab Express. In this video, we'll strictly be talking about how to run a chi-square goodness of fit test through Minitab Express. If you haven't already, you're going to need to install Minitab Express. You can do that by either going to the Minitab website, or you can get it through the Southern New Hampshire University's Blackboard page. If you need assistance with getting the Minitab Express through the Blackboard page, there's a video within this tutorial series where you can watch that and get some assistance on actually downloading and installing the program. Once Minitab has been installed, you will open that up and you will be hopefully looking at something similar to what I have on screen right now. So once Minitab has been opened, to run a chi-square goodness of fit test, you'll hit Statistics, and then you'll go over to chi-square goodness of fit. Once you've selected that option, a pop-up will appear, and you'll need to tell Minitab some more information about your problem. For the sake of this video, I have created my own numbers here, so just know that you'll have to type in the information from yours. So I've inputted my own observed column here, and I put that in C1. So once I've done that, you can select this drop-down menu, so you can have either categorical data or the summarized data in a column. For this, I have just the observed here, so I'm going to do the summarized and enter in my observed counts for observed. Once I've entered that in, you'll select this test drop-down menu here, and we'll select one of these options. If we're testing a uniform distribution, which means all the proportions are the same, we will keep it as the equal proportions, and we won't change it at all. If we have individual proportions, like let's say you're working with M&Ms and you have a certain percent that are brown, red, whatever, you would hit specified proportions and you would enter that in. So if that were the case, for me, if the first input that I put in were red M&Ms, I'd put the proportion of red M&Ms. So let's say that was 0.3, and then the second group of M&Ms, you would put in all the proportions of the M&Ms. So let me just make sure this adds up to 100, so another 0.3, and we'll run the test. So this runs my chi-square test, and it gives me my p-value here. It also gave me my observed versus expected values in the chart right here, and it also gave me the chi-square values for each individual category. But what's really important is getting this p-value from the chi-square test in order to compare that to your level of significance and figure out if you are going to reject or fail to reject your null. In this case, our null was saying that all the proportions were equal to the ones I inputted. So saying that are the proportions of M&Ms actually 30% brown, 20% red, or whatever it is that I entered in. If we reject that, then that means that our observed counts are saying that we have significant evidence that the actual proportions of the M&Ms are different than the ones that we entered in. But anyway, I'm going to open that up again and hit Summarize Data Observed, because let's just do one with equal proportions, and let's say we were claiming that all the colors of M&Ms were equally distributed amongst their bags. One thing I did not mention before is if you select the Display tab here, you can choose if you want it to display that stuff. So we can unselect the chart of observed, or if we wanted, and we can edit what outputs, but I'll keep that for the sake of this tutorial. You'll hit OK, and then this one is testing that all the proportions are equal. So in this case, I had 5 categories, so it's saying that all the proportions would be equal, which would make it 20% for each. If we were actually following that distribution, we would expect 20% of the total to be that, and in this case, 20% of the sum of my numbers here is 26.2. But anyway, so we get this p-value, we compare it to our level of significance, and again, we'll then figure out if we're rejecting or failing to reject the null. If you end up running this test multiple times, there is a navigator window on the left of Minitab. You can select those, and it'll basically list all the tests that you've run during that session of Minitab. So I just ran it twice, so as you can see, I have 2 goodness of fit tests here that I can navigate between. Hopefully that video this video has helped you figure out how to run the chi-square goodness of fit test using Minitab Express. Just note that, like I said before, you'll have to enter in your own numbers and information for your actual question, not using the numbers that I put in, because the numbers I put in were just for my hypothetical situation that I was making up strictly for this tutorial. So like I said, I hope this video helped.